Unlike
What's going on? Welcome to the stream, everybody. How's everyone doing this evening? Don't know how long we'll be live because I wasn't even going to come on tonight. That's why I'm a little bit late. I have something important I have to do tomorrow. I have stuff I have to do tomorrow, so I was like, you know what? Let me make sure I go live tonight. No War, what's going on? Book Nerd, what's going on? Peppermint Petty, how are you? Angel Blue Eyes. Gumball Dolphins. Tay, what's up? Trump is on live television right now. What is he on? What is he on? Oh, he's speaking at a rally. I wonder if we can pull that up here. Let me see. If it gives me an ad, I'm going to put it down.
It just came out, that statistic. We're down lower than we've been in 7 years in gasoline prices and oil prices, not just the three states that I talk about with $1.99 a gallon. How would you like to have $1.99? You know, that's the equivalent of a very major tax cut. You know, when you get the energy prices down. I'm not going to watch this
whole thing. Let's just
really
check
the equivalent,
in and see
maybe
what's
even
going on.
in many cases better than a big tax cut, which we gave you. We gave you the biggest tax cut ever in the first term. We then gave you, with the great big beautiful deal, which is phenomenal, we gave you something that's even better than we did. We gave you an extension of the biggest tax cuts and the biggest tax cuts ever, even bigger than the first term. And that's one of the reasons that your 401ks are through the roof. It's one of the reasons that the stock market is at the highest point. So rent prices are down, dairy prices are coming down very strongly. The cost of Thanksgiving turkeys was down by 33% compared to the Biden era. You know what you did during the Biden era for Thanksgiving? You said, oh my God, this is terrible. It was a rotten Thanksgiving. And Walmart, I thank them. You know, they came out with a big, like sort of a
What's up,
numbers
everybody?
thing, a chart. And they had it 25% less. So that's pretty good. A Thanksgiving meal with all of the trimmings is 25% less under Trump than it was a year ago.
Thank you, Melanie.
That's a good start. We're bringing it down, and we're coming down more. We're coming down a lot more. Takes a little time to come down. They were ruining. They're going to destroy our country. The cost of a Christmas ham, what?
That is just...
Eggs. I'm getting to eggs. But you're right. Remember with eggs where I had my first news conference. 2 days went by and I had a news conference, right? Unlike Biden, 2 years go by, he still didn't have it. Remember? He'd walk off the stage.
He's
finished with his, sir, you finished with your speech. Now what? You finished what?
How do we adjust that?
And then he'd walk into a wall. What he did, and it wasn't him. It was some really smart,
let me bring it back up,
radical left.
I can't figure out how to do it from there. Sorry. We're not going to watch the whole thing, everybody. We're just trying to check in. People are saying to watch this, so asking me to watch this, so let's see what's happening here.
I'm talking about, yes, I look forward to getting involved and doing great things. What about eggs? Eggs are down. They go, eggs.
Oh, my God,
they said,
guy.
The price of eggs is quadrupled. I said, oh, I didn't know that. Tell me about it. It's gone up like 4 or 5 times. Remember eggs right at the beginning? He's right when he says eggs. It went up like 4 times. It was like crazy. And they said, sir, don't buy. They came into the Oval Office. Sir, you know, we have an Easter egg hunt. It's like a thing for 150 years at the White House. Beautiful. They said, sir, we're going to buy plastic eggs this year. Plastic eggs. We don't have enough eggs to go around for I said, you're going to buy regular eggs, and by the time Easter comes,
what
we're going to have so many eggs, you're not going to know what to do. You're not buying plastic.
He's completely lost it.
And we didn't. And Brooke Rollins, our Secretary of Agriculture, did an incredible job. And eggs dropped like a rock. And we ended up buying a lot of eggs for a lot of. But the price of eggs is down now 80% since March. Think of that. And we have two price charts. Do you remember the last time I pointed to a chart? My all-time, I don't care what these charts say. My all-time favorite chart was the chart I had in Butler. I said, let's look at the chart. Bing, bing. I don't care how good that chart looks. It's shit by comparison to the one in Butler.
It's fucking annoying.
It's nothing. I like the Butler chart. Remember, that was on how great employment was and all this. But I like it for other reasons. Look at that chart. It's good. But now I talk about the Butler chart, I don't even want to look at it. It doesn't mean anything. But look, Biden price increases and Trump price increases.
Guys, I'm not going to watch this much longer.
Up 37, 24%, 22,
stupid.
21, 30.7, 30.7 again, 10.4%, 49%. Trump.
Please tell me he wasn't referring to the day he was pew-pewed, or supposedly.
Down 4%, 2.9.
That wasn't a reference, was it?
Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The inflation, and after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax. And remember, we're going to pass the inflation.
This is live right now. This is happening right now.
There's nothing to do with that. It has nothing. It had nothing to do with inflation either way, other than raising inflation, perhaps, because it was such a stupid. And then they admitted, they fought it like, oh no, this is inflation. After they got the thing passed, then they said, we agree, it has nothing to do with inflation. Screw you.
No, that comment about the Butler thing.
We're dealing with bad people. And the word affordability is the exact same thing. And I can't say affordability hoax because I agree the prices were too high. So I can't go to hoax because they'll misconstrue that. But they use the word affordability. And that's their only word. They say
this is the new talking point. This is the new talking point.
Everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down tremendously from the highest prices in the history of our country. And look at that chart. Let's see the next one. You have another one, I think. Mortgage rates. Even with a lousy Fed chair. We have a lousy Fed chair. Oh, and by the way, it looks, you're going to have to check this, please. I just heard it could be that
he said affordability is a Democrat hoax.
In the Fed, signed by Biden,
is
including
a Democrat hoax.
Too Late.
Jesus.
You know who Too Late is? Too Late, pal. Jerome Too Late. He's too late with his interest rates for a reason. He's a bad guy. He's not a smart guy, but he's a bad guy. Too Late. Is he going to lower rates a little bit finally? Did you see where Jamie Dimon, respected guy, said, you got to get the rates down, you schmuck, you know? But I hear that the auto pen may have signed those commissions. If they signed those commissions, now maybe I'm wrong, but we're going to check. Have you checked that? Are you hearing it?
Do these people go to the grocery store?
Or did the auto pen sign it?
Like, do these people go to the grocery store or not?
You know, you can't use the auto pen unless it's very strongly authorized, unless you show you know what the hell you're doing, which is impossible of him to show.
Is that why you used it in your first term?
So, I don't know. I think it's something we have to look into. You put people there that are not authorized to be there. I know I signed Chris Wright. I signed everything, but I signed Chris Wright. If I gave you an auto pen, they could throw you the hell out of here, Chris.
You slept through your own
cabinet
meeting.
The difference is they would do it, you know? We try and be too nice. No, would you check that, Scott, okay? Because I'm hearing that the auto pen could have signed maybe all four, but maybe a couple of them. We'll take two. So look at that, Biden.
Guys, he just slept through his cabinet meeting.
Who's the woman with that great hearty laugh? That's a woman that likes Trump. That's not beautiful. Anybody
Lord,
can laugh with that happiness. She likes Trump. He likes Trump, too, with the hat. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. So Biden, new yearly mortgage cost increases, and Trump, new yearly. Look, we went down with our rates. They went up
Couple
with their
more
rates.
minutes and we're going to turn this off.
So with us, you
Just too
save
stupid for words.
$2,900, almost $3,000. And with them, you go up. It costs you $15,000. You don't hear that because the fake news doesn't tell you that. And these are charts. These are government charts. These are not made up by Donald J. Trump. These are government charts. Do you have a third chart? Because I like these charts very much. Not as much as Butler, but I like them. You have any other charts?
Thank you, Laura.
So far, they're playing quite well.
I appreciate you, Laura.
Oh, look at that. Real wages. Look at that. Losses and Trump real wages gains for the typical worker. Wow. I mean, that's incredible, right? So look at the amount of loss. 18.5, 106. What the hell is that all about? Is that even possible?
I just want to hear what he says. Hold on. Trying to.
Biden food. Oh, I see. No, that's eggs. You moved that chart very quickly. I said, what's going on with that chart? They did. That was Houdini did that.
Yeah.
I was saying, boy,
why is
that's, I really like the numbers having to do with real wages, but they played very well. But this plays very well too. So yeah,
they
Biden
sure
food
made
price
sure he was
increases.
energetic,
Look
huh?
at that. Look at that. So ours are decreases, all decreases, and they're moving down good. But look at AIDS, 106%, and we got them down.
Life and real. Thank you for the $5 super
Look at
chat.
those numbers. But you don't hear that from the fake news. You don't hear that. What do you think of that, David? I think we're going to have to do something. We should impeach him, but he's gone. I guess we can't, right?
Are we
By the
talking
way,
about impeaching?
We're up to them.
What's happening here?
Numbers like that, they would have impeached. Those numbers are terrible, and those are government numbers. So thank you very much, everybody. It's good. We have a couple of other charts we're going to show you, too, that are just terrible. We're also working to bring down the cost of health care. Obamacare is a scam. Under Obamacare, trillions of dollars were given directly to health insurance companies.
Why are we talking
Their
about
stocks are up
impeaching Biden?
1,700% in a very short period of time. Would you say that's good? Obamacare's primary purpose was to pay off insurance companies. The insurance companies back the Democrats very heavily. I want to give billions of dollars directly to the people. I want to take all of the billions and billions and actually trillions, but over a period of time. And I want to give all of that money we give to the big, fat, rich insurance companies. I don't want to give them nothing. I want to give nothing to the insurance companies. I don't want to give all because they're sucking our country dry with this scam by the Democrats. That was Obama. And
so
let me
break this down really quick. So this rally, from my understanding, is related to the midterms. He's already starting to campaign about the economy. This is something you're going to see a lot of. Like this guy is going to be on the road in key districts campaigning on behalf of the Republican Party. Do you know why? Because he is quite literally all they have. If they don't get him out there campaigning, they're super concerned. They're super concerned about the midterms. And so I guess their goal is to get him on the campaign trail and start getting people. Because look, let's be honest about one thing. Republicans who support Donald Trump take to these rallies. It keeps them engaged in politics. Like they for some reason love these rallies. They feel like they're a part of something. Like there's a lot to it. It's more than just a standard campaign rally for MAGA. This is in my opinion though, proves to me they are scared. I think Republicans are very concerned about what the midterms are going to be like, and that's why but you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a ton of this, over the next several months. A ton of this. If you're a Trump supporter, you can call in 908-652-3703. Kamala rallies too. What the hell are you talking about? Kamala Harris is not rallying right now, Cheryl. I don't know what you mean. Politicians rally, yes, but the President of the United States is rallying in December of 2025. If they had, he was on the speakerphone in a incredibly reliable Republican District 7 in Tennessee, begging people to get out and vote. They're terrified. They're terrified. This isn't for a presidential election. This is for the midterms. This is for the midterms.
Call from
David checks.
What's your name?
Hi, my name is David.
Okay, where do you live?
I stay in Minnesota.
Okay. Okay, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Why?
There are so many reasons, right? First of all, I wasn't born in America, but I came here because I found an opportunity to be in this country legally. And secondly, I feel like Donald Trump is resetting the clock. When I say resetting the clock is there are so many things that were happening here in the United States that are just getting out of order. For example, you go to the gym, you would find different people getting in men's toilets, women's toilets, transgenders getting to men's toilets, women's toilets, which is out of order.
What are you talking about?
And
you've never seen that happen. Is this something you watched on television and you saw? You did? What percentage of the population do you think is transgender?
Maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 2% or 1%, somewhere there.
Yeah, 1%. And you're telling me this happened to you?
Yes, I was in the bathroom room, and a lady came in our bathroom, in our toilet. You know? And
wait.
I knew because I could see.
You were in. This is guy, with all the issues we have going on, you give a fuck about this issue? I mean, this is just dumb, but okay, let's just fucking have a conversation about it. So woman walked in.
Give me time to talk.
So you're claiming
yes.
What you're claiming is a transgender man came in the bathroom when you were in there and did what?
Yes, and then she used the bathroom, the toilet. You know, we asked guys to use the urinary area, but she had to go inside and close the door and come back. Listen, give me time to talk, right? And then when she came out, and she went on the phone and started talking on the phone. And I realized this is a woman. I said, hey, what are you doing? Are you a woman? Are you born a woman? She's like, yes, I was born a woman. I'm like, what are you doing here? And so it's a free world. From that day, I realized that, you know what? We are no longer safe in this world. Right. Let me move from that, right?
No. I want to address this. First of all, I want to say I am so incredibly sorry that happened to you. That someone used the bathroom when you were in the bathroom. Oh my God! Holy, that's that's unbelievable.
That's crap.
Have you considered writing a book about this experience?
Why would I write a book?
Because it's just it's an amazing story. Like, I mean, honestly,
man, come on, you know
I'm
what's
being
happening,
serious.
Man.
Like, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Why? I'm trying to be sympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry someone used the bathroom when you were in the bathroom. Listen, it's terrible. Like, well, I'll tell you a story. One time, I went to Taco Bell, and I was using the bathroom.
Right.
And someone else used the bathroom when I was in the bathroom. Like, they went in the stall next to me. And I was like, I can't believe this person has the audacity to go to the bathroom in the stall next to me while I'm going to the bathroom.
Right.
And so, it's crazy, man. Now, all the important things going on in the world, and you're seriously, man, this is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Do you realize
so
how
here's
dumb
the thing.
that
You didn't
sounds?
give me time to talk, man.
I gave you time to tell your story. I gave you time to tell your story, and it's literally stupid.
The problem with you guys is you guys have been focusing on fake news. And this guy has come to expose a lot of news, a lot of fake news has been running around this country for a very long time, right? Yes, I wasn't born American, but I came legally. But you would find that now the Democrats were just opening borders and allowing certain people, murderers, drug dealers, to come in this country and kill our kids, kill our grandmothers, kill our fathers. The guy has been stopping drug laws, drug masters to enter in this country, but nobody did that, and he's doing incredibly good.
Let's talk about
it. But nobody sees that.
How do you know they're smuggling drugs?
Yeah. Come on, it's all over the place. We can see that. You can see that, right?
We'll see
what they're doing with me. Is it fake? It's not fake, right? It's real, right?
No. Can you tell me where
you... on the televisions, he's been on the Caribbean trying to fight with Venezuela. Okay,
so what evidence have you seen that they were smuggling and
what evidence have you seen? I've seen people getting arrested in the streets.
No,
never happened.
No. We're talking about the vessels, right? The vessels you were referring to, I'm assuming. How do you know they were engaging in drug trafficking?
Like I said, I've watched the TV, right? And I've also experienced that. Let's
break this down. You were sitting down and you were watching the TV. And what did you see on the TV that led you to believe Donald Trump was telling the truth about that, or Pete Hegseth?
Because he's never lied.
Oh my God!
He's been absolutely true about everything. He has never tried. They tried to kill him. He has been trying to do the right thing.
Donald Trump has never
the guy?
lied.
Let him do his work. We love Trump, and we pray that God protect him. And you guys don't see that. That's your problem.
So, first of
all, you don't see that.
Did you know that Donald Trump admitted he's not going to heaven? So I don't think God is protecting a guy that's not going to heaven. Okay?
Listen, God protects everybody. The reason why we are here, all of us, it is because of God. We make mistakes, and He gives us second chances. He's here to help you, to help me. At the end of the day, either you are a sinner or not a sinner, He's the one who gives the judgment. We don't have to give the judgment.
I want to break some bad news to you. So people document how many things Donald Trump says that are not true. And Donald Trump made more than 20 false statements per day during his last term, and is being pretty consistent during this term.
Right.
He made an over 30,000 documented false statements during his first presidential term. So to say that he doesn't lie is a level of delusional. Honestly, like I'm kind of jealous at how delusional you are, because I wake up every day and I look at what's happening to this country and the world, and it bothers me deeply. And I'm kind of jealous of the fact that you have no idea what's going on. So I'm going to ask.
Which state do you stay? Let me ask you a question. Which state do you stay?
I've lived in tons of states. It doesn't matter.
The blue state or what?
It doesn't matter. I've lived
in
blue and red
states. Okay, do you think the blue state or not?
Doesn't matter. I've lived in both. What's your question?
So here's the thing. Okay. The thing is, you have never been on the streets.
How do
That's
you
your
know?
problem. You have
How
never
do
been
you
on
know
the
what
streets.
my background is?
I've been on.
The guy, I grew
No,
up
because
in
if
I
you've
grew
been,
up in poverty. So that's how
yeah,
much you know.
I've been on the streets. I've seen when Biden was in power. I've seen how this
You were on the
country
streets when
was
Biden
where
was
it
in
was
power. I
going.
thought you said you were an immigrant.
Yeah, I was here. I was here. Yes, sir. I was here before that.
Okay, when?
I came the first term of Donald Trump.
So you came the first term of Donald Trump and you became unhoused
Yes.
under Trump, or you became
Nah,
unhoused under Biden?
nah, nah. Listen, don't worry
Your
about that,
story
right? But
makes no
I'm just.
sense.
It makes sense. The problem with you guys, is that you don't really see the real
I'm actually
story out
jealous of
there,
how delusional
right?
this guy is. I'm not even kidding.
I'm not delusional. I love Donald Trump, right? And he's doing the right thing. You guys, you just have to listen and let him do the work.
Well, listen, he
You've
doesn't
never
love
seen what's
you.
going on.
That much I
You've
can
never been.
guarantee.
No. That's not true.
Oh,
He's
it's
just trying
true.
to protect everybody.
He wouldn't let you.
Yeah, he loves everyone.
He wouldn't let you sleep on his doormat. But anyway, what's your problem with undocumented immigrants that are here? Do you think it's productive to spend billions of dollars to remove them?
I'm not saying they're wrong with undocumented people. What I'm saying is everybody should go through a process, vetting process. Who comes in your country, who goes out of your country, right?
Yeah, I think
all over
everyone's
the
in
country.
agreement
I've been to
with
Australia.
that.
I've been to Canada.
I think everyone's in agreement with that.
Yeah,
I'm in agreement with that as well.
I've been to Canada.
But what I'm asking
Okay,
you is...
give me a second.
No. You've talked
Give me a
enough,
second.
so I want to shorten the conversation.
I've been to Canada. I've been to Australia. Bro, let me tell you something. They are very strict on their port of entry. So strict. In Australia, whether you are American, whether you are Canadian, whether you are British, you can be deported. Why? Because they've got
If the United States is not strict, then why are you documented?
No, it is strict. Trust me,
okay.
I
So
did
then
the right
I guess
thing.
that point doesn't
Right?
matter. So as I asked you, the people that are already here, right? They're already present in the country. I acknowledge we have a broken immigration system, but we have a problem we need to fix. There's people here. I don't believe it's productive to remove them. It's spending billions and trillions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, to remove them. So I advocate for alternative solutions like granting mass amnesty, like giving legal pathways to citizenship, because I like to break down, right, what specifically are the negative consequences of this population of people present in the United States. So the first thing we need to start with is, what are they contributing to our economy? What are they contributing to our tax system? Are you aware of how much?
Right.
And what is the fiscal burden? And what is the overall fiscal burden of their continued presence here?
So here's the thing, right? I understand what you're saying, where you're coming from. It's very true. But what I'm saying is don't have to deport all of them, right? But my question is, how did they enter the country? Because if they entered the country illegally, for example, we don't know them. For example, let me give you an example. Before I came to the United States,
didn't listen to anything
I did a background check. Wait,
guy,
no,
listen. You
no. I did a background check.
Either answer my question, right? If you're not capable of answering my question, it's okay. But you either can debate the topic or you can't, right? The policy is directed towards removing the people that are present here. What are we doing with the people that are present here now? Because there's a mass deportation operation underway that involves constitutional consequences for both American citizens and undocumented immigrants. But we're talking about consequences for the American people. Severe consequences to conduct this deportation operation. So why would you be opposed to granting mass amnesty for already present undocumented immigrants? What is the fiscal consequence of their continued presence? Give me some consequences that justifies the policies Donald Trump is using to resolve this issue.
What I can say to you is, let's document the right people who came illegally in the United States, who are not a burden to the society,
Guy, forget
right, in our
legal or
community,
legal.
right?
Forget illegal or legal, okay? The concept of
Okay,
legal or
let's
legal, it doesn't matter right now. It's a misdemeanor either way. So the concept of legal or legal doesn't matter. We already had a system in place that removes people who commit violent crimes, right? If you commit a violent crime, that already happens. It's not like
how
people are
can we
committing violent
document?
crimes and not being removed.
How can we? Okay, how can?
You do it by
So here's the thing:
granting
how
mass
can we document
by
them?
granting mass amnesty.
No.
By granting mass amnesty gives a
So
legal
here's
pathway to citizenship.
okay. Even you get a visa, right? There's a pathway to citizenship. America's given everybody that if you apply this kind of visa and you're granted, there is a 100% possibility from the visa to citizenship. They never deny to give anybody citizenship, right? But my question is, someone who came from anywhere, we don't know where he came from. How are we going to trust him and give him the citizenship? How? How do we do that?
Why do we
That's
trust
hard.
you?
Understand?
Why do we trust you?
Why would you trust me? Because when I went to the embassy, when I got my visa, I went through background check in my own country.
And
when
what
I
do you
came to the
think
United
granting?
States,
Do you know what amnesty is?
yeah, I know very
Amnesty
well. Maybe you can explain better.
Amnesty doesn't forgive like committing crimes outside of immigration violations. It simply offers a
Right.
path to legal status for people who qualify. So you still have to meet certain requirements, like not having serious criminal records, right? And you have to have lived in the
Right,
country
right.
for a certain amount of time. So those same requirements
Right.
exist under granting mass amnesty. So why would you be opposed to granting mass amnesty? You didn't know
Every
what
country is
amnesty. You didn't know
constitutional
what
law, bro.
amnesty was, and it's very obvious.
I do. I know what it was,
No,
but
you
I'm saying
didn't,
every
because
country
there's
is
the
constitutional
same
laws.
there's the same
Let's follow those
requirements.
laws.
Amnesty is merely granting a legal pathway. There's still certain requirements that need to be met. The only thing that's forgiven are the immigration violations. You can't have a criminal record. Like, did you think granting mass amnesty eliminates their criminal conduct outside of immigration violations? It doesn't.
Man, I don't know what to say to you, man, but I understand. Listen, I understand you want to focus on immigration, right? But
You brought it
this
up.
country's constitution, this
Wait.
country's laws.
I want to focus
No,
on
listen.
immigration. You brought it up. The conversation just didn't go
it's
where
okay,
you
but I'm
wanted to
saying
because
is
you're not educated on it.
we can't just bypass laws just to accommodate certain people.
Did you bypass laws when you voted for Trump?
No.
I'm just wondering. You do realize Trump is a convicted felon, right?
Everybody, even you have got a felon on you, bro. We go to the police.
No, I'm not a
you
felon,
went through
sir.
some stuff as
No,
well.
sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Why would you say Trump is a felony? Leave Trump alone, man.
Because he was convicted
You understand?
in the state of New York of falsifying business records to hide campaign finance violations. That's why he's a convicted felon.
Okay, so I'm very confused what you're saying, man.
What I'm saying
I always
is
watch
he's
you
a
every single
convicted
time.
felon, and you were focused on the misdemeanor committed by undocumented immigrants. Furthermore, you didn't know that mass amnesty doesn't forgive serious criminal records. It merely forgives immigration violations. So it does.
Oh my
So
God.
why are you here? Why would we trust you? For the same reason we would trust people we give legal pathways to citizenship.
No, you can
It's
trust
done
me
before. It's been
'cause
done before. It happened under
Listen.
Reagan. It's happened multiple times. It's not anything new. So no one's denying the immigration system's broken. You just don't want to talk about a logical solution in terms of Donald Trump in relation to Donald Trump's solution. Donald Trump is unconstitutionally and unlawfully conducting a mass deportation operation that has tremendous consequences for American citizens.
Okay, all right. Oh, Trump all day, man. Whatever you say, I tell you this, man. I feel more comfortable on the streets in the community because of Donald Trump. Before I wasn't. Do you understand? I just want to let you know that I'm very comfortable with Donald Trump, and I'm
Okay.
happy that he's in power. Let's give him a chance, dude. Let's give him a chance, right? And let's see how things are. This country has constitution. This country has laws, and he's been doing the right thing, right? But you guys have been sitting on corridors trying to stop him. Why? Because you've
Let
tried
me
all sort of things to stop this guy from doing his job.
let me just address a comment here in chat. Said they tried their best to remove him from the ballot. So they used a totally legal constitutional provision in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment called the Insurrection Clause, right, to remove him from the ballot. States had that authority. Right. There was an existing precedent. The Supreme Court ruled that Congress must act in order to apply said constitutional provision. But understand, like, the provision itself, engaged in insurrection, is absolutely applicable to the current president for his behavior on the 6th of January. So thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Oh, man. Is that guy calling in from a call center? No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know, honestly, anymore. I don't really know. Oh, does this person think, did you guys think that guy was calling in from a call center? Do you guys remember the guy I debated right before the election, the Russian guy who we actually exposed was in a call center? Was anyone present for that? I actually had a guy on TikTok. I was debating on TikTok one morning, and this guy called in. He was Russian. He had a Russian accent, and he called in, and I ended up asking him a bunch of questions, and we basically discovered he was actually in a call center. Have you ever had a smart Republican? A smart Republican, yes, I have. MAGA, no. Because in order to be MAGA, you have to deny facts. Mark says, you're at a call center. No, I'm not. Rob says, you don't debate, you lie. Okay, Rob, why don't you call in? Give me 1 second. I got to step away for 1 second. And then I'm going to come back, and Rob is going to call in and show me where I lied. We're going to ask Rob to name the lies I've told. I wasn't going to come on tonight. But I might have something to do tomorrow, so yeah. That's why I came on, so I'd appreciate if you guys would support the live, support the Super Chat goal, or just hit the subscribe button. It's free. Share the live. You can become a member of the channel. There's a bunch of different ways to support. Let's turn the phones on and let's get Rob in here. And I specifically want Rob. Rob runs his mouth a lot in the chat. So, Rob, come on up. Call in. And let's have a little chit chat. Oh no, we literally used to have people call in from call centers during the election. I don't know if I'm going to be on TikTok in the morning, Amy. I'm sorry, Emily. I don't know why I said Amy. Because I have something I have to do, but we'll see. It's not for sure, Emily. I'm going to try, so I'm not going to say it's 100% not happening. All right, let me pick this up really quick. Hopefully this is Rob.
Call from
David.
You're not Rob, and you're also calling from an unknown number. Hold on. Julie. Thank you so much, Julie No One, with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's frickin' go. KY Teacher, you got gifted a membership. ZDP, you got gifted a membership. Shalai, you got gifted a membership. Micro, Christopher Martin, you guys all got gifted memberships. Gumball, thank you for becoming a Muppet Masher. Let's go, Muppet Mashers. What's your first name? I usually don't take calls from unknown numbers, but what's your first name?
David.
Okay, David. And why are you a Trump supporter, David?
Oh, no, I'm calling because you blocked my messages because of what I was talking about.
What were you talking about? One of the mods
about how I was
messages.
sold in Kids for Cash.
Because you...
Yeah.
Okay, the
I was
mod
sold in
blocked
Kids for
your
Cash
message.
into slavery.
Cassandra,
Hey,
thank you
know
so
what
much
Kids for
for
Cash
the... Cassandra, thank you so much for the $4.99. Much love to you, Adam and Friendlies. Thank you, Cassandra. What did you say that a mod muted you for?
And then, because I was talking about Kids for Cash, do you know what that is?
I would assume you're talking about human trafficking.
Yeah, I was sold into slavery. And then Biden pardoned him. The Liberal Party made the KKK, and they were the ones who
Guy, I'm
wanted
not
slavery.
interested in going down.
I don't
this path
understand
with
how
you.
anybody
Why do you
could be
support
okay with
Trump?
this.
You don't know about the party switch because you're uneducated. Can you tell me
Because
why do you support
the
Trump?
Liberal Party endorses slavery.
That's not true.
Because the
Do you
Liberal Party
support
endorses slavery. I was
Really?
sold, and then the people who freed the man who sold me are liberals. How are you okay with this?
Okay, what liberal are you talking about?
His name is Conahan and Judge Chivarella.
Okay, Conahan what?
Google it.
Conahan?
Judge Conahan and Judge
Okay.
Chivarella. Yeah.
You're gonna have to spell these names. I don't know. What's the spelling?
Give me a second. I got Google. I'm sure everybody does.
Yeah, we're gonna check up what you're talking about and how this in any way relates to Biden.
It's
Justine, thank you so much,
Conhan.
Justine. Sorry, go ahead. What'd you say?
Because Biden pardoned him. He sold children into slavery, and then Biden pardoned
please
them.
tell me what the name is?
Judge Conahan.
Spell it.
Conahan.
Okay, Judge Conahan. And you're claiming
Yes.
you were one of these people?
You could just type in Kids for Cash.
You're
Yes.
Okay, and you do know Donald Trump has pardoned a bunch of people who've engaged in all sorts of criminal conduct, right? So that wouldn't be a much of a point, really.
Well, I'm looking at track history. The Liberal Party made the KKK, and the Republicans were the ones who fought back against slavery.
So this person was just on home.
You know, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves.
Guy, can you stop? Okay, so I'm not sure what exactly your point is here. You're kind of pivoting all over. I guess I'm kind of confused. Trump has pardoned
No, I'm not.
criminals as well.
I have a very direct route. I'm not pivoting.
Okay, Donald Trump. Let me break down why.
I'm not pivoting. I'm telling you.
Let me break down why Can I please break down why you're?
I don't care who sits at the Republican
Can you
seat.
stop talking?
I don't give a fuck. The liberals
Can
want
you
slavery.
stop
I've been
talking
sold.
for a second?
I'm not okay with this.
Can I please address something? Actively, Donald
And that's
Trump
the thing. I have
just
freedom of
spent
speech. Go ahead.
Okay, but you don't have freedom of speech on my platform. Freedom of speech is about the government.
It's not free speech anywhere. What the fuck are you talking about?
The First Amendment protects you from the government. I'm a private citizen. According to the Supreme Court, I can curate my message. So you don't know what you're talking about. So let me break this down, right?
By all means, buds, do what you need to do to censor me. That's why you fucking block my message.
I'm not going to censor you. I'm going to prove that you're a fucking hypocrite. So first of all, the President of the United States.
I'm a hypocrite because I was sold by the Liberal Party.
Can I please speak without? Can I speak without you talking? Thank you.
Can you speak without yelling?
Stop talking, then. Jesus. So once again, Donald Trump has spent almost the last 6 to 8 months keeping the Epstein files from the American people. There has been a concerted effort to conceal that information from the American people. He sent his deputy attorney general to interfere with an investigation by the Oversight Committee that included sending Ghislaine Maxwell a subpoena, right? The deputy attorney general is his former personal attorney. That was a quid pro quo meeting. Donald Trump and his administration sent that convicted sex offender, right? The most infamous convicted violent sex offender, Ghislaine Maxwell, to a non-violent prison, a minimum security prison, a dorm, where people in that prison now work off-site. We now know that violent sex offender that the Trump administration moved quid pro quo because of that meeting, right, is receiving preferential treatment. She has a emotional support dog. She's getting customized meals, right? Private workout sessions, all sorts of different benefits she received. We got nothing out of that meeting except that she never witnessed Trump in a private setting and never acting inappropriately. Yet we now have 2011 emails that were subpoenaed from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein using congressional subpoena power, the Oversight Committee, that show that what she talked about with Blanche is not true, right? The statements she made are not true, that she didn't offer information that was being discussed in 2011 before he was even in elected politics. Donald Trump tried to convince Republicans not to sign on to the discharge petition. To release the names of the most dangerous, potentially, pedophiles in the world. Donald Trump himself did all these things. The FBI under the Trump administration, right? And the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, claimed that no young girls were trafficked to anyone but Epstein himself. There's been a coordinated effort to keep this from the American people. We're talking about pedophilia here, in this case specifically. And Donald Trump himself has a history of behaving inappropriate with children. So don't make this about Democrat or Republican. Donald Trump has a extensive
any more inappropriate
history.
than Biden sniffing people and then them people clapping?
Yes, much more inappropriate.
They all have fucking pedophilia.
Have you ever seen? Listen, I don't care what politician gets exposed.
I wish I was able to send you videos.
I don't care what politician gets exposed for being on the list. Couldn't care less. But have you ever seen Donald Trump? Do you think it's appropriate to tell a 10-year-old girl, "I'll be dating you in 10 years"?
No.
Well, that's a statement Donald Trump made.
It's okay to fucking grope and sniff little kids.
Did you vote for Donald Trump after he made that statement?
Biden did the same thing, and you guys all clapped.
Listen, you making
I don't vote
like
whatsoever.
That about party politics is
but my whole thing is, I don't know. Oh, because the whole thing is, it is about party politics. They're all evil, but the thing is, you guys are fucking rooting for the side that wants to enslave people, and I'm not okay with that.
Okay, well, whatever you say. Have a good day, bud. Democrats want to enslave people. This is rich. This is getting richer and richer. Listen, I'll say this again. Anyone who makes party politics and tries to apply like inappropriate conduct to a particular political party, you're going to lose that conversation. Okay? And if you're going to do that and then be a Trump supporter, make sure you remember Donald Trump made a concerted effort to conceal this information from the public. This guy in chat says Nick Fuentes is growing as the voice of many young Americans. No, he's not. He's growing as the voice for many incels who have never seen a vagina. Yeah. Why don't you call in, Jonathan? So where's this Rob guy that was talking all that shit? That was not him. That was another guy. Where is that Rob guy that was talking so much crap in the chat? Where is that Rob guy? Rob, I would really love you to call in so we can have a little chit chat. Are you still calling in, Rob? I just generally don't care about politicians, and I don't give a fuck who gets taken down in the Epstein mess. I just want them all exposed. If you're in any way engaged in that shit, you need to be out of our government and away from any decision making. JL Reed, will you shut up? You don't know. You can't spell your, dude. Like you were misspelling your up there. Like, shut up. Notice how he was talking all this shit, how he would dog walk me, but yet he's not calling in. Do you know why he's not calling in? Because he knows I would baptize him. That's why he's not calling in. Look at all these Trump supporters in here. They're all crying in here. Trump supporters, do you guys need tissues or something? I've never seen people so dedicated to loving a politician. Like, I've never seen that in my life. It's amazing to me how in love you guys are with a man who wouldn't let you sleep on his doormat. I love how they're now saying it's America first, not MAGA. No, it's MAGA maggots. It's MAGA maggots. And it's Ben MAGA. Don't try and pivot now to America first because you're embarrassed. No, I'm not crying. I just love that Rob hid once he got called out. I love that Rob hid once he got called out. Rob was talking mad shit and then hid when he got called out. At least some of these guys have the courage to call in. I'm not upset at all. Well, my objective is already accomplished, Jacob. Right? My objective is solely to piss you off. And I've accomplished that. That's why you've been spamming my chat. I win. We love the results, not the guy. No, you love the guy. Oh, God. Rob lives in this guy's head. What happened to real Americans? I don't know what happened to real Americans. I have no idea. I mean, let's be honest, guys. He's falling asleep. Guys, real quick, this guy's really upset that people are sending me super chats. So if you guys want to send a super chat on behalf of this guy, on behalf of your favorite Trump farmer, do it on behalf of this dude. He's super triggered. He's super, super triggered. Adam, do you know that this Afghan
David.
No, David, I'm not talking to you again. What do you want, David? Let me answer a couple questions here. Adam, did you know that Afghan overstayed his visa? So when you say the National Guard shouldn't have been in Washington, why was that Afghan still here after his visa ran? That's not why the National Guard's in Washington, Jonathan. The National Guard's in Washington according to Donald Trump, to control violent crime, which he claims was out of control, even though there was an 11% reduction in overall crime.
Jay.
An 11% reduction in overall crime, a 26% reduction in violent crime. and crime was 14% below pre-pandemic levels. Yet he still called in the National Guard. Number 2, he was granted humanitarian parole. He was a part of the Operation Allies Welcome program. You don't know what you're talking about. Happily, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. What's your first name, dude?
Jay.
Jay. Why are you a Trump supporter, Jay?
Because I see what he's doing for the country is more beneficial than a lot of the presidents in my lifetime have done for America.
Okay, so what do you? Let's talk about something different. What about his foreign policy? How do you like his foreign policy?
I would say it's very positive and strong. I mean,
really?
America's been getting taken advantage of for years upon years upon years by other countries with free trade and all the different things that we've been allowing them to take advantage of us for. So I see with him putting forth all these tariffs and starting to make people
have been an utter failure
financially.
He's been an utter. The tariffs have been an utter failure. What about What about him being a peacetime president? Do you agree that he's a peacetime president?
I would say I don't see a lot of wars popping off that are unnecessary that we are funding or putting our money behind.
So there's tons of conflicts going on, but let's talk about it. So has he resolved conflicts? Has he effectively resolved the conflicts he promised to resolve, including Russia and Ukraine?
Not at the particular moment, but there are ceasefires. So I would say that those ceasefires are at least a step in the right direction for peace versus something that as the previous administration was doing, was funding wars, funding Ukraine, funding Israel.
Yeah, there's no ceasefire in Russia. There's no ceasefire in Ukraine, though. There's negotiations happening for a peace plan, right? So what specifically do you think about the peace talks so far there? Have you read the peace plan? Are you educated on why this negotiation is not going the way it should and ultimately favors Russia, and ultimately what the consequences are for the United States?
It is just the same play that any play is going around. You can say negotiations. We could talk about negotiations and trying to fund things out. But at the end of the day, when you want to find out what the real problem is you follow the money. And the money is Ukraine doesn't want to give up their mineral resources to Russia. Russia is pressing them to give them mineral resources in order for them to fight for war.
Right. And why doesn't Ukraine want to give up? And you understand, you're talking about the Donbass region, right? Why does Ukraine not want to give up that those kinds of concessions in the Donbass region?
You lose any type of political power or any type of
they can't recover economically. You're asking them to recover. They've been invaded. Their infrastructure's been destroyed. And if they surrender the Donbass region, which do you know how much Russia controls currently?
No, I do not.
Okay, they control between 80 and 95% of the Donbass region right now. Donald Trump has floated ideas of ending the war at the battle lines, which means they would lose majority of the Donbass region. That's their they essentially would not be able to recover economically if you did that. Like, their heartland.
This is true.
So this is why I say like the negotiation
right now.
So in terms of and it's not just their economy, it's their military. Russia wants them to renounce any future NATO membership. Russia wants a reduction in their military. The original proposal was a 150,000 soldier reduction. I think their military sits at roughly seven. Let me see real quick. Let me just look this up just in case. I think it's 750. Let me see. But regardless, they floated a 150,000 reduction. So some estimates are a little bit higher than that. But they want a 150,000 reduction. They want to renounce any future NATO membership. They want them to surrender large portions of the Donbass region. They want a buffer zone that belongs to Russia. Right? What happens if Ukraine can't recover economically? What if Ukraine can't fight off any future threats? What does it mean 4, 5, 6 years from now?
That is not my concern at the particular moment, and the only thing I'm really focused on is America, and that's why I support
Let me
Donald Trump,
explain why that affects
he
America.
is
I'm
in
talking
favor
about
of
America.
doing things for America first.
I'm talking about
I
America.
live in America. I don't live in Ukraine. I live in America, so I am in favor of mass deportations, which has affected me personally in my career because I live in Southern California.
This is
I'm
about
in America, bro.
though. Let me explain this. Can I explain? Can I explain why this is about America? And I get this response from people all the time.
Go ahead,
why are we talking about Ukraine? Why are we talking about Ukraine? Well, we're talking about Ukraine because Poland borders Ukraine. Poland is what?
You tell me.
They're a NATO ally. Russia has Vladimir Putin has long wanted to recreate the Soviet Union. Okay? This has been his plan for an extended period of time. If they swallow Ukraine, it's likely they attack Poland. That triggers Article 5 of the NATO agreement, and we're going to war. So this is about the United States. When we talk about, I'm so concerned about this issue. I think Donald Trump's inability to negotiate this particular peace plan could cost the United States. It could ultimately cause World War III in less than a decade. That's how serious I think it is. And you may take that and say, well, I don't believe you. That's fine. But
at the same time,
no, it's not all good and dandy. We all die during World War III. We all die. Do you understand how when a country that's sovereign is invaded and you weaken their sovereignty by weakening their economic viability, you lose that negotiation. Donald Trump thought he'd be able to come in and play this game with Putin where he flatters him and bashes Zelensky and ultimately get Putin on his side to ultimately, concede to some of these things. And Putin has stood strong and said, I'm not conceding anything. We want this, and this. And that's why that 28-point peace plan was a Russian wish list. Don't pass this off as no big deal because it's happening in Ukraine. NATO borders Ukraine. If Russia swallows Ukraine, they will attack Poland. That will trigger Article 5 and we'll be going to war. So don't say it's not about the United States. It has everything to do with the United States.
This is true and dandy. But how can I ask, what's your age range?
Hey, Ace, thank you so much, Ace. I appreciate you. Don't worry, I'm old enough. I'm a father, so that's probably good enough for you to realize. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm not afraid to out myself as far as age goes. I'm 46 years old, and in my 46 years, I've seen.
Well, I'm younger than you by
I've never seen a president be American. So I've seen a few presidents, and I've never seen a president in my lifetime be American first. It's time for America to stop being America's police and start focusing on home first before we go out and try to distribute peace or do anything for anybody else. We need to be home first. We need to take care of home first and focus on America. I don't care what happens in other places. You know what? They need to hold their own nuts and figure out how to take care of their countries, just like everybody else. That's why all of these people need to go home, because they need to figure out how to take care of their country. They come here, they take advantage, they wave flags and do all kind of disrespectful things to Americans where I can't go to another country and wave my flag. I'll get my head cut off, or I'll get deported, or something else may happen. But yet, go to another country and find little America. Where's the little America at? But guess what? I can go to every major city and find little Japan or little Tokyo or little China or little Italy. Why we can't find little America in all of these places?
All right, so let me just can I just explain something
they want to turn this country into another country.
You're perpetuating the same thought process people had post World War I. Okay, isolationism. Okay, isolationism caused World War II and allowed for the expansion of Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany began taking over other countries in Europe because there was no resistance from the outside world. Isolationism is what caused World War II. That's what you're perpetuating right now. Post World War I, people were disenfranchised the same way that you are now, with engaging in any other global conflicts, any other global issues. And ultimately, that led to the start of World War II and allowed for Germany's expansion. It allowed Hitler to become stronger.
World War II?
So what happens if Russia takes Ukraine and attacks Poland? Do you think there's a consequence for the United States?
Well, that's when the UN should step in.
You're going to wait until they have a stronger foothold and cause a world war? Do you understand Russia then has a stronger foothold? They have a more strategic advantage, right?
We can't be the world's police. They need to figure their own. They need to figure their own stuff out.
Can I just add additionally, so you know,
doing right now.
Just so you know, additionally, we had an agreement with Ukraine called the Budapest Memorandum, in which they surrendered their nuclear stockpile, and we agreed to assist in defending their sovereignty. So this isn't just we've decided to help Ukraine because we're the good guys. We made an agreement in the 94 Budapest Memorandum. They surrendered their nuclear stockpile, and that ultimately is what caused them to be invaded. You become more vulnerable when you surrender your nuclear stockpile, correct? So the United States is responsible and does bear responsibility.
To a degree, and that's why we're stepping in to try to make sure that there is some sort of peace agreement. Yeah.
Not to a degree. If Ukraine had nuclear deployment capabilities, do you think they'd be able to fight off? Do you think Russia would have ever invaded?
No.
Okay. So then it's the fault of the United States, right? The United States bears significant responsibility. The United States bears significant responsibility because they made an agreement in which resulted in surrendering their nuclear deployment capabilities, which we know ultimately would have prevented an invasion.
Okay.
I don't think they would have annexed Crimea had they had those capabilities in 2014. It never would have happened. So if you're going to now take their nuclear weapons and you're going to say to them, hey, guys, listen, we're done now. We don't want anything to do with you. We're going to go be isolationist, right? We're not going to engage in any global conflicts. We disarmed you so you don't blow up the rest of the world, and now we're going to allow you to be swallowed. At the very least, we're going to allow them to weaken your sovereignty significantly, right? I think by the time that results in World War III, people are going to say, you know what? The United States is the bad guy.
They've been saying that. So this is not nothing new. This is something that's been.
No, let's be clear.
That's why every country is right now blaming us for all their instability.
Let's be clear. Russia's the bad guy. Putin is the bad guy, not the United States. Putin is the bad guy.
I know that.
Yeah, so aren't you concerned with... Let me tell you a quote that I consistently use every time I debate this to try and get the point across to people, because I never think people just don't understand how he feels about the Soviet Union. In 2005, Vladimir Putin said the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century was the collapse of the Soviet Union. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
I disagree.
Right. And why do you disagree?
Because if he hadn't destabilized the
no, there's been
the
other
USSR.
geopolitical catastrophes far greater than the collapse of the Soviet Union, such as the Holocaust, correct?
Yeah.
So when
but
someone
that's
says the
subjective
collapse
in
of the
itself.
Soviet Union was the greatest geopolitical catastrophe when the Holocaust has happened in the last century, do you think that's an outrageous, delusional statement?
It just depends on who's asking the question, because everything is subjective at this point.
The Holocaust is not.
Yeah, it's
No, it's not.
it just depends.
It's a historical fact. It's a historical fact.
Okay, but you can't go around claiming to win the suffering Olympics by portraying that was the greatest. What about transatlantic slavery?
Wait, hold on.
And chattel slavery in America. That's far past.
I didn't say the great. Wait.
We're not talking about that now, right?
Hold on for a second.
Okay, then.
Hold on for a second.
Okay, then.
I was comparing it to the collapse of the Soviet Union, you disingenuous muppet. Is it a greater geopolitical
You
catastrophe?
claim that was the greatest.
No,
that came from your lips.
No,
that didn't come from
that's
mine.
what
I had to correct you.
I'm sorry. He's just too dumb to have the conversation. There is a limit of stupidity. That's what Putin said, not me. Putin said the greatest geopolitical catastrophe. The collapse of the Soviet Union is not a greater geopolitical catastrophe than the Holocaust. It's not even close. So a statement such as that proves how out of touch he is and how he feels about the Soviet Union. But you're not even smart enough to grasp that concept, so it's not even worth fucking trying to explain it to you. So real quick, let's get this guy up here. He keeps spamming a lot. I'm gonna bring some attention to this guy. All right of Cola. All right of Cola. Hold on. Stop trying to call back, dude. All right of Cola. Hold on, everybody. We're going to do this real quick. This guy in chat keeps talking and saying I'm a coward. So I'm inviting you, and I only want him to call right now. We're going to give him 5 minutes. This guy in chat, all right of Cola. We are going to give you the next 5 minutes to call in and debate me right now since I'm such a coward. Let's see what I'm a coward about. You're in chat right here. Right here. This guy. Right here. All right of Cola. It's all you. It's all you now. Let's get him to call in and see if he wants to call in. All right of Cola. All right of Cola. You called me a coward. You said that I'm scared. You're on the hot seat right now. If I'm scared of you, call in right now. I want the phone lines open. All right of Cola, you and only you right now call in. Let's see if he has the courage. What's the topic? We were debating foreign policy, but yeah. Anyway, this all right of Cola guy, it's on you. It's up you. You're on. See, guys? He says I'm a coward, but yet I'm giving him an opportunity right now, and he's not doing it. Wonder why. Wonder why. So why don't you call in, Sir Bader? Actually, Sir Bader, just shut up. We're not even talking to you right now. You are a coward, Sir Bader. All right, this better be all right of Cola.
Call from.
Yes, are you all right of Cola? Are you all right of Cola?
Yes.
No, you're not. Why are you fucking lying? You have an echo.
Hello?
You need to turn that off. That little kid is definitely not. All right of Cola, please call in and turn the live stream on if you're going to call in. That little kid's trying to pretend he's this guy. I don't think so. If it is, turn the live stream on and call back. Yes, it's me. All right of Cola. I don't think so, but we'll prove it because you're going to have to type in the chat to prove it. So that's all. You're going to type in the chat to prove it. So that's how we're going to do it. If you don't have your Christmas tree up, by the way, I saw a video today where this person had their whole tree decorated in MAGA shit. No, Vika, and there's no number blocked. There is no number blocked. Guys, look what this guy just wrote. This guy just said, work on your debating. Study watching Charlie Kirk videos. Good day. Oh my God, you think Charlie Kirk was a good debater? 210 Rain, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Yeah, this is thank you, 210 Rain Christopher. This is All Right Cola, who says, I'm scared to debate him, but he won't call in. The number's right there. But you're not 210 Cola. I only want 210 Cola. But anyways, did I finish what I was saying? So this woman had her whole fucking tree decorated in MAGA shit. Pictures of Trump, fucking shirts, MAGA shirt ornaments, all sorts of shit.
Call.
All right, are you all right, Cola?
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh, bro, then why the fuck are you calling?
Call from.
Are you all right, of Cola?
To accept.
Are you all right,
One.
of Cola? Here he is with the echo in the background.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Okay, why did you lie before and say you were?
Sorry about that. I just want to talk to
No,
the guy.
no, you don't lie to me. So now I need you to apologize, and I want you to sing your favorite. No, don't do that. I want you to apologize, and I want you to make up a song. Sing me some kind of Christmas tune. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know how to sing though.
I want you to first apologize for lying to me. I want you to first apologize. No, I want you to first apologize to lying to me and telling me you're all right of Cola when you weren't.
Right. Listen. I apologize for what I did, but I'm so sorry about that. And can you please give me time to talk to you? I
If you
apologize
make
for
up
that.
your
My bad,
favorite
man.
Christmas song and sing it, it has to be a minute long. You can use any words you want. Think of a theme and sing me a Christmas song. This is what happens when you lie to me.
Yeah.
You don't get to lie to me.
Okay, I can sing for you.
Okay, it has to be Christmas. Go ahead.
But you are a liar. No.
No, that's not what I asked you to do. Don't ever lie to me again. I want this guy right here. All right, of Cola, this is not going away. Me and you, we're going to meet in the dojo. TikTok people will get that reference. One time I was debating on TikTok, and this guy's like, dude, meet me in the dojo tomorrow. I'm a freaking black belt. Yo. Dude, I go every Friday night. I'm killer at karate, dude. You'll get absolutely dominated. Let me see if I can move this to... Stop calling, dude. We're trying to... you can call in a minute. guys do like these late night streams, I would appreciate hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, super chatting, sharing the live. Some people like these late night YouTube lives. All right, of cola. I'm ready. All right, of cola. Yes, crime intelligence. I can't debate. Guy, you can't spell. Like, do you realize that? Like, look at this. Call in right now. Crime Intelligence USA. Let's all right, so now that we've proved this all right cola guy's a coward. Crime Intelligence USA. You are afraid to talk to me cuz you are bro, you can't spell. Why would anyone be afraid of you? Done. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. Trump treats the Constitution like it's Netflix terms of service. That's so fucking true, man. 100%. He does not care about the Constitution whatsoever. Someone should give him a Constitution to read through. He couldn't give a fuck less about it. Listen, why would Trump care? I mean, let's be honest. He's written executive orders that attack free speech. He's weaponized the FCC against people, right? He's labeled Antifa a terrorist organization when it's a political ideology. He's had things overturned in the Supreme Court, like the bump stock ban. These Second Amendment lovers don't even realize the bump stock ban was deemed unconstitutional by the Supreme Court and overturned. Donald Trump advocates for taking your firearms before due process, before even red flag laws, before any judicial oversight. His deportation operation has violated people's Fourth and Fifth Amendment. He's not constitutionally eligible, according to Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. He could care less about the 14th Amendment as a whole. The 22nd Amendment, he continuously flirts with the idea of running again, even though it explicitly states you can't. I mean, this guy does not give a shit and never has about the Constitution and never will. And never will.
Call from
Carl.
Yeah, how old are you?
Hello?
Yes, how
I'm
old are
Kyle.
you? I know you're Kyle, but how old are you, Kyle?
I'm 24.
Okay, you sound kind of young. What year were you born?
2001.
Okay. So why do you
Check
support
out.
why do you support Trump, Kyle?
Well, today I support Trump because I feel like he's the ultimate warrior of free speech, and he's trying to bury the corrupt system.
Okay. So can I let's just talk about the First Amendment and specific things he's done that I believe are anti-free speech. So let's talk about burning the American flag. Is that a constitutionally protected right?
Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah, I don't care what your opinion is. Is it a constitutionally protected right? Yes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. In Texas v. Johnson, 1989, the Supreme Court said that burning the American flag is symbolic speech and protected by the First Amendment. Okay? And Donald Trump wrote an executive order targeting people for burning the American flag. Is that, if you ignore Supreme Court precedent and write an executive order, right? Ignoring that precedent, is that unconstitutional?
Well, that's an executive order, so
doesn't matter. Is writing an
obviously
writing
allowed to do it. He's
but is
taken
writing
big
a directive?
steps so I think that he wants to be a bully. He likes to take these big steps because he wants to show that he's in charge as much as he can.
Okay, but let's be clear about something. Is a right in violation of an already established Supreme Court precedent unconstitutional? Is it? I mean, you're talking about you literally said he's an ultimate warrior for free speech. I'm giving you an executive order in direct violation of an already established precedent in Texas v. Johnson 1989. Is that anti-First Amendment to write executive orders targeting people for exercising symbolic speech?
Well, in that example, he's going to be defending the country, America first. That's his ultimate goal.
How does stopping people from burning the American flag defend the country?
Because we have it all switched around. You can't burn the other flag, that rainbow flag.
Yes, you can.
But you can burn.
Yes, you can.
The American flag is absolutely backwards.
Let's be clear. Yes, you can. What you just said is incorrect. The act of burning the pride flag is not illegal. If you burn a flag, right, for the sole purpose of trying to intimidate a marginalized community, yes, it can be interpreted as a hate crime. But the act of just burning the flag itself is not illegal.
Right. It's the hate speech that would follow it. And if you do anything
it's so like if you went to a pride parade, right, and like we're screaming slurs and burning a pride flag to interfere with a peaceful protest, it could be interpreted as, illegal. But just if you wanted to go burn a pride flag, you're totally capable of doing that. It's not illegal.
Interesting, but I mean, I don't see how that's incorrect for him to be taking control. It's sharp.
Did you know that? Have you ever read like the cross burning case, Virginia v. Black?
No, sir. I've been reading the Bible lately.
Okay, so like states can't just ban the act of burning a flag. In this case, right? The Supreme Court ruled that you can burn, we're talking about cross burning here, can burn a cross when it's done with the intent to intimidate, right? As this constitutes a threat. And that then is not protected by the First Amendment, because threats are not protected by the First Amendment, right? So you can't just ban the act of burning a cross, but if it's done with the intent to intimidate a particular community, then that can be deemed as a threat, and that would be an illegal act. And so if you wanted to go burn the pride flag, you most certainly could, just like you could burn a cross. But you can't burn a cross with the purpose of trying to intimidate a marginalized community.
At this point in time, we have to hope that he continues to regress the correct way.
Hold on, didn't I just absolutely demolish your point?
I am calling it a regression of the Constitution. So I'm calling it a regression of the Constitution because
you just said he was an ultimate warrior for the First.
Burn it.
You just said he was an ultimate warrior for the First Amendment.
Yep.
And I just debunked the idea that he's an ultimate warrior for the First Amendment because he wrote a directive in violation of an already established Supreme Court precedent. Would you like to go further? Do you know do you know who Brendan Carr is? Do you know who Brendan Carr is? Do you know Brendan?
That's just a counter strategy. That's not a debunk.
What? I'll give you another example if you don't like that one. Do you know who Brendan Carr is?
No, sir.
Okay, Brendan Carr is the head of the FCC. Who appoints the head of the FCC? The president. Brendan Carr came out and threatened Jimmy Kimmel or threatened that network with saying they're going to revoke their broadcast licensure, that they're going to face penalties if they don't fire him for his harsh criticism of the president. That also could be deemed an attack on the First Amendment.
It could be.
Okay.
But, that's just more warfare, legal
is this guy,
jargon, for lack of a better term. I don't have any better word than it's like It's just trying to slander everything that he does, taking away from all the good that he's doing.
I don't think you have a rebuttal to my arguments at all. You've not given a single rebuttal. You literally have not given a single rebuttal. I've given you Supreme Court cases. I've given you Supreme Court cases. I've given you executive orders. I've literally cited something the FCC did. The head of the FCC is appointed by the president. I gave you specific threats they made in response to criticisms of the president. What about trying to claim Antifa as a terrorist organization, writing an executive order classifying Antifa as a terrorist organization? Antifa, right? Anti-fascism is a political ideology, right? That's what fascists do. There isn't a single time in history where a government has conflated political opposition with violent extremism and not tried to ban free speech.
Burning the flag isn't free speech in any way. It's just respecting the policy that lets you speak.
Guy, listen, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not paying attention to what I'm saying. You're listening to wait till I'm done to respond. I just gave you another example of something that would be considered an attack on the First Amendment. Are you listening to the words coming out of my mouth? Have you ever debated before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so respond to what I'm saying.
Undermining. What? How can you not respect the second standing president who they've tried to kill, they've tried to silence, who's still trying to support America first?
Who's they?
The darkness, the bad people versus the good people. We've only got so much.
But who's they? Give me an example. Who's they? Who's they specifically?
Well, let's just say terrorist groups to America, any and all of them. There's
who are we talking about? Can you give me names?
How many people actually pay taxes versus how many people are in the country?
What? Can you give me an example of the group that tried to unalive Trump? You just mentioned that happened. I mean, I'm not a firm believer in what I witnessed that day. But what group related to like leftism?
Do you think that was a real attempt on his life, or it was staged for the television?
No, I don't think it was staged. I think Donald Trump over-exaggerated the circumstances, but I don't know really. I just know that at worst it grazed his ear and they made it seem like it was some they propagandized it to use it to win an election. It absolutely helped too. But I don't know. I really, to be quite honest with the point is the point I'm making. That's great. Shut up. The point I'm making is the person who did it doesn't come from a particular group of people. There isn't a particular group of people out to get Trump in that way, if that's what you're talking about. I think that was that guy was researching how to go after Biden. You know how there's nothing about that connected to any kind of Democrats or leftism, right? Because you've heard nothing about it, and Trump's been president for how long? Almost a year now. They would have uncovered that.
Have you heard Trump speak live?
Excuse me.
We're like on a podcast.
Can I finish speaking? You don't have a lot of intelligent things to say. No offense. So please don't interrupt me.
You're either a fed or a cuck. It's really not.
Listen, you're the reason they invented that chair in the hotel room in the corner. So keep your mouth shut. You're the reason there's that little chair in the corner of hotel rooms. Don't you dare call someone a cuck, you little pigeon.
So it's been like.
So again, let me finish. The FBI has literally said nothing about that situation. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because there's a tremendous amount of evidence about connections to Democrats? No, there's nothing. The FBI literally came out. These people are very close to Donald Trump. Dan Bongino and Kash Patel Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are very close to Donald Trump. Okay? And both of them have stated there's nothing there. They're in charge of the FBI. They could do it.
It's incredible that there's these miraculous guys that are all partially autistic that go out with guns and can make these very close attempts and then get shot in the head 2 seconds before. How controlled of a specimen do you think this is?
He didn't get shot in the head.
In the ear. It went through his skin.
No, it went through his
just like,
ear?
You know.
Have you ever seen... let me just pull something up on the live real quick. I want to show you something. Okay? I'm going to pull something up on the live stream, and I want you to look at it. Okay? Just give me one quick second here. If I can find one. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a look at Exhibit 1A. I'm about to pull up here. Exhibit 1A. And Exhibit 1A, let me remove this American History X Muppet from the screen here. I don't know why he's still up there. He was scared to debate. So let me bring this up really quick. This is Exhibit 1A, and this is something I want to show this guest. And I'll explain, don't worry. When you see it, it might not make sense immediately, but unless you're a fan of the sport. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ear of Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield was a primetime boxer. His ear got bit off by Mike Tyson. Most people know this. That's his ear today. No, it didn't grow back. No, it doesn't suddenly heal. It's gone. It was bitten off. A piece of it was bitten off. You're telling me a bullet went through his ear and it's completely healed? Completely healed?
What's crazier is in 1 week he had the bandages off and it was completely healed.
Wow.
On live television.
Did you ever think that's because, do I have to connect the dots for you here?
Medicine that he gets access to. But it's also a different kind of injury. It went like through the center of his ear somehow.
It did? All right.
Which is also odd because he doesn't have super wide ears like a monkey.
Well, let's bring up the ear really quick. Just for everyone in here. Let's bring up his ear. Here. Just out of curiosity, not making any definitive statements. I don't know what's what. We're just looking at things. We're not making any definitive statements. This is merely for educational purposes. That's all it is. Let's bring this up quick. You say it passed through, right? This is his ear today. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I need to say anything else. Do you think it's possible that God made it heal quicker because he needed the president's ears intact? Do you think that's a possibility? Are you there?
It's a possibility. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought you were asking.
No, it's a possibility. So
streamer.
you think it's possible that maybe God decided he needed his ears intact and...
I don't know. I mean, I feel biased because I just read someone said plastic surgery, and I do feel like they have superior, medicine for him. They'll have anyone donate friggin' skin for his graft or whatever.
But we saw pictures immediately after he took the Tampax off. We saw it immediately. There was nothing there. So I'm just saying, do you think it's a possibility that maybe God decided
So
to
what does that
miraculously
prove, sir?
heal his ear, like while he was sleeping or something? Do you think that's a possibility?
I do think that it's possible he survived a bullet. Yeah, I think that's a real possibility and a really crazy outcome.
Do you think that it's possible that God miraculously healed the ear as well?
Yeah, of course. And he gave us the power to help that happen.
Right.
A lot of makeup and stuff can be applied too.
I figured you would
it's
say
like Class A Hollywood.
I figured you would say that.
I don't get, but like, it's possible that whole thing was.
Come on, man. Come on. I mean,
real,
this is crazy.
real,
I mean, come on, man. This is crazy. This is just absolutely insane. You can't. I mean,
do you think?
Like, what are we dealing with here?
An anomaly?
No, I think that if it, and I'm not even saying something didn't happen. I'm just saying if I had to take a guess that it was exaggerated, that it was either slightly grazed at the very worst, or, you know, a belt buckle caught it on the way down, him ducking. I don't know. There's a million different circumstances. I think it's very suspicious how Secret Service wanted him to immediately stand up. The only reason he didn't stand right back up is because he was looking for his shoes. And the Secret Service was like, come on, stand up. And he's like, I'm looking for my shoes. I need my shoes first. I can't believe in a circumstance like that they'd want him to stand up. There's a lot of stuff that I think's weird. I think a lot of things that happen, what we witness every day right now, especially in this political climate, I think are very, very shady. But I don't make definitive statements because I don't draw conclusions off conjecture, right? I need actual facts to back up my statements.
And you're never going to get the entire story because they'll always be able to dodge the legal bullets. If they can't even get each other in court and behind bars, then there's no way that they're going to let one of us get them in court.
Well, I think like for me, I think, you know, how I use Occam's razor. Do you know what Occam's razor is?
No.
Okay. When you have like two or more explanations for something, the simplest one is usually the best choice. Okay?
Exactly.
If the battery on my phone dies, I don't assume that I'm being tracked by the FBI. I automatically conclude, right, that I forgot to charge it. So you guys have this like inability to like critically analyze situations, and it's dumbfounding. It really is. Like you just said God may have miraculously healed his ear. Guy, what are we talking about here? Do you really think that God is watching Trump?
Thanks a lot.
What?
Do you believe in God, sir?
I'm agnostic. This is another example of a situation where I don't believe I have enough evidence either way to say yes or no. So I feel comfortable being agnostic. I believe in energy. I believe kind of somewhat in more of a spirit kind of room. I think there's something after. I do believe there's something there. I don't believe people's energy just disappears. But do I believe in like a Christian God? No.
All right, but energy, like karma, at least. So there's good karma and bad karma out there. So whatever juju you believe in, you've got to at least say that Trump is trying to keep back the very worst of the juju. I didn't even mean to put those words together. It's just a coincidence.
Did you mean to put any words together during this discussion?
I don't have enough faith to be agnostic, sir. I know that there's a punishment for that, and you've got to spread the good word.
So do you think Trump is a Christian? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, he's a Judeo-Roman Orthodox Christian, whatever he wants to classify it as. But he wore the tiny hat and went to the wall.
He did kiss the wall, but that's not what I'm asking. What I'm saying is, do you think he's a Christian? Because he says he's not getting into heaven, right?
He self-claims to be Christian, but the symbolism is much stronger, saying that he's not.
I'm saying he says he's Christian. What is he cheats on his wife, right? Do you think he's a good person? Do you think he lives a Christian way of life?
He's a boomer. So have you watched Game of Thrones, like the series? You know how that old disgusting man had no problem like taking the women. That's just kind of how they think. Just like a lot of the darker people that we need to get out of the country, that we might migrate out. Like, they just think very differently than you and I. We can have a one-to-one and talk about how we can better each other.
Listen,
or we can
I kind of wanted to get into...
Some people just can't do that.
I kind of wanted to get into some Bible verses with you and talk about the Bible permitting slavery, right? And things like that. But I'm not sure I think we can go down this path because... And I don't mean this like any offense to this or any, like, I'm not trying to like offend you or anything. But you're kind of a little weirdo. Eddie, thank you so much. Appreciate you, Eddie. Adam, I watch the vids, can rarely catch lives. You're one of the top political. Thank you so much, Eddie. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, it's no offense to you, man. I really appreciate you calling, but I'm going to move on. Oh, my God. That was a disturbing little conversation there. Eddie, thank you so much, Eddie. That was a weird conversation, man. Guy's telling me God miraculously healed his ear. The fuck? I don't know, man. That was weird. Like, I literally, like, I don't want to offend the kid, but, like, kind of a little weirdo is the understatement of the century. Well, Kyle, I don't know. I'm like, he wasn't really rude, right? Some of these guys yell and they're nasty. What he was saying was bizarre. Like, I don't, like, I don't know. Like, that's fucking weird. Really bizarre. He's not a kid, go in. Well, he was like 22 or 23 or something, dude. I just don't understand why Christians worship Donald Trump so much. He doesn't even believe he's getting into heaven. Thank you for everybody who contributed to the...
Call from...
Jeff.
Thank you for everybody who contributed to the Super Chat goal. Appreciate you. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you want to comment on something?
Yeah, just kind of in general. I was listening to his last caller there, and I listened some last night. And I'm 68 years old, so I'm not a young kid, obviously. Mm-hmm. That does not make me any smarter than somebody half my age. You know, I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, I'm definitely a Trump supporter, and I think Trump is doing really well, and I just like to maybe talk to your man there and get some ideas.
Yeah, so you're talking to him right now. So so some of the things we've talked about.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so some of the things we've been talking about is like foreign policy tonight. Would you like to comment on? I mean, that guy was taught. The previous guy talked about the Constitution. This guy talked about. The first guy said Trump is a constitutionalist. The next guy talked about Trump's pew-pewing. One guy talked about foreign policy. So, would you like to talk about one of those? I guess. How do you feel about Trump bombing these vessels? That's a hot topic right now. What do you think about Trump bombing these vessels?
I'm kind of ambivalent about it, but on the very positive side of that, if that's not counter speech or whatever, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. There's no doubt these aren't fishermen out there just bobbing around, trying to catch a marlin. They're obviously transporting something for whatever reason, and I think a lot of them are not necessarily mariners per se. They're pawns by the cartels, right? And they may or may not. We've all seen the movies, whether they're real or not, but where they will, you either do this or we kill your family type of a thing. And there's probably a lot of truth to that, but.
Well, I think my issue with that is, there's multiple criticisms I'm going to have of that. And one of them is I don't believe that this form of deterrence theory is effective in ultimately solving the problem. The drug issue that we have, like the war on drugs has been an utter failure. Our country has handled this in disastrous ways, largely because they refuse to address the people.
And I 100.
What'd you say?
Yep, I'm sorry. I did not. You got a little bit of a delay on it, so I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But I 100% agree with you about the war on drugs because this has been going on since the Reagans or whatever era.
Yeah.
And so, it's ridiculous. It's making somebody a heck of a lot of money on both sides of that war.
But here's the thing, right?
You're right.
If we wanted to solve this problem, then solving this problem would be considering who's demanding the product here in the country. And the people demanding the product here in the country are U.S. citizens who are addicted to drugs. The opiate market largely upholds the drug market. People in the United States suffering from substance use disorder, which we know is a healthcare condition and requires healthcare. So if we started addressing the people here who are sick and suffering by adopting harm reduction strategies and applying healthcare solutions to a healthcare issue rather than using the long failed theory of deterrence, criminal punishment, and military action, then maybe we would see somewhat of a reduction. But continuously, we try and apply harsher criminal punishment, military action to this problem. That's why it never gets better, right? Because it's a supply and demand issue, right? The supply, if there's demand for a product, supply meets demand. The incentive is far too high. You will never outweigh the incentive with punishment, even death. When there's risk involved, and the people understand that. That's why the cartels use other people to traffic in these substances. But just to simplify the argument in terms of why I don't support these extrajudicial, these killings with no judicial oversight, where's the line in the sand? If you decide that someone's committed, and by the way, there's no proof they're engaging in narco trafficking, so let's start there. Right? We don't know who these people are. We don't know if they're engaging in narco trafficking. We know cartels often use innocent people to traffic in these substances, grab their family members and threaten them with death if they don't comply. So it may just be innocent people working on behalf of a criminal organization, even if they are engaging in this particular category of crime. But furthermore, where's the line in the sand? If you're not providing due process, what's to stop the president from deciding, hey, people in the United States who have differing political ideologies, such as Antifa, who he labeled as a terrorist organization, deserve to die as well. I don't think, there needs to be a line in the sand. It's not specific to people. It's not me defending people who are engaging in narco trafficking, but allowing our government to perform these extrajudicial killings. Now, I want to reference something. I want to make a historical reference here. We invaded Iraq because our government told us there were weapons of mass destruction and connections to 9/11. Those were lies. We know they were lies now. Now our government is trying to convince us that they're trafficking substances into our country to give us justification to invade a country with the largest known available oil reserve. It is literally the same thing over again. The question is, are you willing to listen and believe your government again when they've already lied to you multiple times and just recently during GWAT? Guys, look, all right of Cola's in the chat. The guy who was scared to debate me. The guy who was scared to debate me is in the chat right now. All right of Cola. He's back all of a sudden saying he was in the bathroom. Scaredy cat. Go ahead, dude. Sorry.
Oh, geez.
Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
No problem. But, imagine my surprise. The government lies to its citizens. The track record of the U.S. government lying to citizens is longer than my two arms can stretch out, and it's been proven, not through just decades, but through centuries that the government lies to us, constantly. But to use a famous line from a movie we all know, about wanting the truth, you can't handle the truth. And, the citizens of any government are kind of like the ostriches with their head in the sand. We don't want to know. And it probably should not really be that way. We want the government's job is to protect its citizens. That's the number one job, and to protect our borders, not just U.S., but anywhere in the world. That's the number one priority, should be the number one priority of any government. And anything beyond that is
But I have to say this, though.
Ridiculous.
The thing is, though, it's not really protecting its citizens. Right? Like, what is it doing as a long-term solution to eliminating the problem of drugs in this country? Right? Like, the reason the issue doesn't get better is because we keep applying deterrence theory. Do you know what deterrence theory is? Just to ask you, it's not a gotcha. I just want to explain it if you don't know.
Say the term one more time.
Deterrence theory.
Deterrence? No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, deterrence theory. So deterrence theory, for anyone who doesn't know, is swiftness.
I'm sorry. Deterrence. Okay, yeah. I thought you left off the.
Yeah, are you aware of?
Yeah, deterrence. Yeah.
Okay, so just for the chat, deterrence theory is swiftness, severity, and certainty. Deterrence theory is the theory our government uses, right? To stop people from committing crime, to deter people from committing crime. If you apply swift, severe criminal punishment, people will see that and then not commit crime. That's how we prevent crime in the United States. It is not really effective in regards to any category of crime, but specific to substance use disorder, it's been an utter failure. And by substance use disorder, I mean the drug problem in this country. Why has it been so ineffective in regards to the drug issue in this country? Because the issue with drugs in this country is because of lack of health care. Other countries that have less of a problem with this issue have universal health care. Health care coupled with harm reduction strategies and addressing the root causes of these issues, right, or addressing the root causes of crime using community policing, are the ways that you reduce crime overall, and specifically as it relates to substance use disorder and the drug issue in this country. You're a military solution to a healthcare issue. No wonder it doesn't get better, right? We know substance use disorder, people that suffer from substance use disorder, are largely upholding the market. We know now, because of science, that this is a disease with a genetic predisposition. These people are genetically predisposed to this condition. It requires no different than diabetes or cancer, a healthcare solution coupled with harm reduction strategies, and you may see different results. And some cities are waking up to this idea. Donald Trump believes if you kill them, if you apply harsh criminal punishment, if you apply capital punishment, you'll solve the problem. So I don't believe it even works, even if we pretend that they're drug traffickers and you can prove that they're engaging in narco trafficking. It does nothing to fix the problem long term.
Right. I agree with you. But being not somewhat, I am definitely a conspiracy theorist. I don't think us bombing, shooting, whatever you want to call it, killing these narco boats or supposedly narco boats, I don't think that's a ways to a means. I think it's about Maduro, maybe
oil.
a regime change or...
It's about oil. Well, what does Venezuela have?
What Venezuela has.
Venezuela has the largest...
They got oil. Yeah, they have oil and coast.
Right.
Yeah, and tourism's not a big draw, so it's minerals. It's always about follow the money, right?
Yep. Agreed. 100%. So now you're right there. You're close. So why would you claim they're narco traffickers? Well, you need to prove that there's an imminent threat to your country to justify invasion according to international law. So I think that it's simply justifying that they are a direct threat to the United States, and they're going to use that as justification to invade a country that has the largest available oil reserve. It's pretty common. It's not even really a conspiracy. It's just looking at historically and outside of the Trump administration, our government has used these tactics previously. This isn't something we haven't seen before. And I just can't believe, because often when I talk to Trump supporters about this particular issue, they will deny that that's the case. They will claim that Trump is actually trying to solve the issue of drug trafficking. But then I simply point at the fact that he just pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was convicted of drug trafficking. He's pardoned the founder of Silk Road, Ross Ulbricht, who was convicted of drug trafficking. He pardoned Larry Hoover, who had drug trafficking charges. He's pardoned multiple people who have been convicted for drug trafficking. So I don't think that this is a guy who's really interested in deterring drug trafficking.
Right. Yeah. I 100% agree with you, because but he's got bigger, grander plans than any one of those pawns that you just mentioned. And will we find out what it is? Yeah, probably never. But
no, we will.
Let's just look at the Iran-Contra deal. Pardon?
We will find out. He'll just be gone. And yes, it's all this entire thing. Again, I'm aware of all of this. I understand. Just to stay on topic, though, the point, though, is how then can you support him doing this, knowing these things to be true?
Okay. The answer to your direct question is because I don't know what his grand plan is. Probably a regime change, or let's get a foothold into South America, and then from there, from Venezuela we go down to whatever other countries we maybe want to do whatever. Think of it as like the Normandy of World War II, but on a drug scale, not necessarily a World War scale, something like. And again, that's I don't want to sound like a wacko, but again, I think there's bigger plans that what we know about, and baby steps, right? Baby steps, kind of like the Bush's thing about weapons of mass destruction that you mentioned, and I totally agree with you. Bush 43, that was totally cover up Bush 41, cover up what my father did wrong. Let's retaliate, and whatever. And I'm a Republican. Well, I'm not so much a Republican as I am a conservative.
So you don't support it then, right?
I'm on not the far right. Pardon?
So if I'm getting this, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're supporting him doing this because you trust his long-term vision?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I can't
But
agree. I mean,
and I
that's
might
crazy.
be totally wrong because we don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
Regardless,
I don't
you
think
saying
it's about
you don't know what it is proves that he's dishonest because he's telling you what it is. According to him, he's telling you it's an effort to eliminate and punish people who are attempting to traffic these substances into the United States. It's important to recognize the precursor from fentanyl comes from China. It doesn't come from Venezuela. Right? They've accused Venezuela of trafficking in substances they're not historically known for trafficking in. There's been many things he said that just don't add up. And again, like I said, I'm not dismissing the idea that they potentially are engaging in that behavior, but I don't think there's been enough proof provided. And on just on a more surface level, as I stated previously, if you support him deciding when people deserve to die, what stops him from deciding people in the United States deserve to die without any judicial oversight? What difference would it make? I mean, this is in violation of international law and right to life. There's no imminent threat. There was a double tap strike. These people were hanging on to the side of a wreckage, right? And then they came back and killed them. Right? If we're deciding now people deserve to die with no judicial oversight, I think that I think that concerns me as it relates to Trump specifically. Of course, acknowledging that our government does participate in unaliving or killing terrorists and people like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Our government does engage in killing people. I mean, we've done every country throughout history has always done that.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Doesn't make it right,
we're
though.
not unique. No, you're right. It does not make it right. But to answer your question, I think the question you were kind of going for here was, well, if he does it overseas or other countries, what prevents him from doing it to us in our own country? I think that's kind of where you were headed.
Yes,
to.
I am. Yeah.
And let's hope there's sufficient eventually checks and balances that going to prevent a rogue president.
But they're supposed to be
we've all
right
seen
now.
those silly movies.
But they're supposed to be right now. So, what you're saying is, well, don't worry because we have systems in place that would ultimately prevent this from happening domestically. And again, if you want to have a conversation about checks and balances in regards to Trump, it's not going to be a good one. The Supreme Court, in specific, is supposed to be checking some of his behavior that is no doubt illegal, and aren't. Right? Whether it's in regards to ICE and the Equal Protection Clause, whether it's in regards to deploying the National Guard without consulting civilian law enforcement, there's the 14th Amendment. There's multiple things I can point to, and unconstitutional things that he's done that if a guy just doesn't care about those checks and balances, you'd be surprised with how much he can get away with. I've long been critical of our system and how it works here because it relies too much on people having good intentions. And that's been the case, I think, for the most part, right? But now we've run into a president that I don't know really cares about those things. I think it's more about winning and getting what you want, right? And I don't think the checks and balances are strong enough. Look, checks and balances existed under the Third Reich, right? They had a parliament.
Yeah.
They had a constitution.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
they had checks and balances, but it wasn't until Hitler got in power that he expanded his ability to govern and tested those checks and balances and successfully dismantled, those protections. Again, if he's not following the law, then it doesn't matter.
The movie. Yeah, I watched the movie Valkyrie the other night, and there's a good testament. A certain faction within the faction said, he's gone too far. He's crazy. We gotta take him out. There's a lot of people, you yourself, I guess included, want to take him out. I'm not implying in the same way that attempted to take out Hitler, but remove somebody from power, and that's acceptable. I mean that's why we have these, checks and balances, so to speak. But
yeah, I think for me, I definitely want him impeached. I could spend the next hour laying out some things that I think support articles of impeachment, but it's just at this point, it's it doesn't matter because they wouldn't be able to successfully convict him at this point. But after the midterms, you can bring articles of impeachment. You could impeach him. You can bring articles of impeachment with a simple majority, but you can't convict him. So it's all fantasy at this point, unless you have a successful midterm. But thanks for calling in, dude. I appreciate it. Do you want to say one last thing?
Well, I was going to. Just real quick, I wanted to mention what you were talking about yesterday real fast, and I don't want to get on a long conversation because I know there's other callers and all that. But the whole thing about the whole Epstein stuff, just generally speaking, okay, Obama had the opportunity to do something about the Epstein files.
You mean Biden?
Had something. Well, no, Biden. Well, no. In it, like maybe his last year or last 6 months or 16 months. I don't know the time frame, but Obama there was some overlap there. You would be more knowledgeable on that than I would be.
Well, they weren't made.
I believe.
Okay, yeah, not Obama, Biden, but even then, no, because there was the appeal of the Ghislaine Maxwell.
Certainly Biden.
Yeah, well, not really, though. Even if you could possibly have figured it out, they would have been mostly redacted. There was an ongoing appeal in the Ghislaine Maxwell case. You had federal law that protects victims' privacy. But regardless, and I say this to everyone who brings this up, if Biden had released those Epstein files during Trump's campaign for president, dismissed it as misinformation. There's not a single Republican or MAGA supporter specifically that will convince me that they would have believed harmful information about Trump leading up to the election released by Democrats. They're calling it a hoax now under Trump's administration before they've even seen it. Trump is calling it a hoax. Trump would have said it's a hoax, and I think it would have been largely discredited. I'm telling you, I truthfully believe that it would have discredited it. Thank you, Sega. Appreciate you for the $1.99. I think that they would have, you wouldn't have believed it, dude. Even if Biden had released it, you would have dismissed it. And you know that.
But yeah.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah,
Let's pretend. Tell the truth. Hold on. Tell the truth. I want you to be honest with me.
Oh no,
Hand on the Bible. Hand on the Bible.
Oh, I am.
Let's pretend Biden had released that before the election. You guys were claiming there was a concerted effort by Democrats to take the guy's life. You would have never believed that Democrats were releasing something true about Trump during that time. I think if Biden had released it after the Ghislaine Maxwell appeal ended, you guys would have said, no, that's bullshit. They're just trying to keep him from the White House.
I understand what you're saying, but now I'm 68 years old. So I remember times when a Democrat and Republican that worked together in an office somewhere or digging a ditch or whatever the hell it was they were doing, they would talk, they wouldn't argue, they would discuss politics. And when that 5 o'clock bell rang, they had each other in the back. They walked in the bar and had a beer together. That's how it used to be. Of course, that's not how it is anymore.
Well, MAGA
it's a whole
changed that.
Era.
MAGA changed that. I'm sorry to tell you, Trump changed that. MAGA changed that. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the truth.
Well, MAGA has had a huge impact, but I got to tell you, it's not all negative. There's a lot of good things, and that's a discussion another day. But anyway, the one thing I wanted to just, again, mention, parting comment or whatever, the whole Epstein thing, Trump politics, he ran his election I can't think of the right word.
His campaign.
We're going to release the files. We're going to release the campaign. Thank you very much. We're going to release the files. We're going to release, Pam Bondi. We're going to release the file. Kash Patel. We're going to release the files. And again, here's my conspiracy theory coming into it. Okay, I think there's so much damning evidence in there that Trump misspoke. That's why Biden didn't do anything. And I think that's why Trump didn't do anything. I think there is something so huge, so damning to so many powerful people throughout the world, not just the U.S., throughout the world, that, that's why they shut up and they shut down the whole damn thing, because, Epstein was a financial advisor worth $700 million.
Yeah,
no financial advisor in the world is worth $700 million. $7 million maybe, $70 million maybe.
Two things can be true at the same time, though.
So
two things can be true at the same time, right? There's definitely a lot of really fishy stuff about the Epstein stuff, no doubt about it. But as it relates to Biden, right? And if it was the truth, I would say it. I'm not here to just defend Biden because, right? Biden, first of all, you're talking about the Department of Justice and the FBI, not the White House specifically, but there was then ongoing investigation. You had the Ghislaine Maxwell appeal. You had these privacy laws, grand jury secrecy, right? The president at the time didn't have unilateral ability to release the files unless I guess there could have been some kind of congressional action. But again, it would have still been redacted because there was an ongoing investigation and an appeal in a criminal case. So there would have to be some kind of court order in order to do, not just an executive decision by itself under Biden would not have released the files. That's not how it works. But the difference between Biden and Trump is that Biden made a concerted effort to keep it from the public as they were trying to get to the truth. Whether it's the Oversight Committee in their investigation and trying to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony, discrediting emails saying they're a hoax that were subpoenaed using their congressional subpoena power, trying to convince Republicans not to sign on to the discharge petition, and then opening an investigation immediately after he couldn't convince Republicans not to sign on to the discharge petition. I would imagine to potentially redact any information related to him or have an excuse to redact information with his name in it related to an ongoing investigation. The FBI claiming that lying under oath, Kash Patel claiming that no young girls were trafficked to anyone but Epstein himself. This is an organized conspiracy to cover this up. And so regardless of whether or not Trump directly engaged in the abuse, and I don't know if that's going to be in the files, it's very clear that whatever's in the files is beyond what he previously disclosed publicly. And once you have that information, right, in the files, you're going to be able to put together a case. It will make much more sense for everyone. Put together a case that the president unlawfully interfered with an ongoing investigation by the Oversight Committee to conceal damning information in the Epstein files from the American people. That is impeachable. That supports articles of impeachment, and he should be removed. The Department of Justice should not be working as Donald Trump's private law firm to keep damning information away from good American people, hardworking American citizens that deserve transparency. And that's on the left and right. People deserved the truth, and he worked to keep that truth from them, and that is impeachable.
Yep, and I agree with you. And now to end it, because I've taken up a lot of your time. I do want to thank you for your views. I think you do a real good job, man. So kudos to you. I don't agree with 100% of everything you say, but we can find some common points, some common grounds, and I think the one thing you and I totally agree on, and most of us do, is we just want a better America.
Well, that we do agree on. Thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a good night. Take care.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Man, so many angry people when I talk about the concerted effort to conceal it. What did I say that's incorrect? You notice how they're not telling you what I said that was incorrect? Notice how they just say, you're a clown. You wrong. You wrong, Adam. You wrong. I'm literally explaining to you what he did. It's not disputable. You need to look into the Ghislaine Maxwell meeting with Todd Blanche, who was Donald Trump's former personal attorney. The timing of that meeting, the timing is very important because that meeting only came when he found out the Oversight Committee was going to subpoena her testimony. The stuff in the emails, you need to listen to the Kash Patel testimony. People, this isn't about Trump, just Trump. I hope you know that. This isn't about getting the truth about Trump. This is about our country. We cannot move forward as a country without the truth. I'm not exaggerating. We will lose this country if we don't get transparency here. And no matter who that exposes, that needs to happen. A country that a democratic constitutional republic like ourselves relies on the people trusting the integrity of the system, and that's waning. If they don't get transparency here, I think it could destroy our country. I think it's that serious. Mark my words. I hope everybody's put their Christmas tree up. It's getting somewhat late. I'm going to try and come on tomorrow. I have a busy day tomorrow, but I'm going to try and get lives in. I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube, but I'll try and do TikTok in the morning. We'll see what happens. I don't know yet. No, you know what? I'll try and do YouTube. It might just be later at night. It might be like after 7 or something. We'll see what happens. But guys, if you're new here, I'd appreciate hitting the subscribe button, hitting the bell. If you guys did enjoy the live, I'd appreciate hitting the thumbs up button as well on your way out. If every single person in here could hit the thumbs up button right now, I'd appreciate it. If you guys go to the link tree in my bio, you can support me through the link tree in my bio. I'm on multiple apps, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I just started on YouTube about debating about 2 weeks ago. Before that, I was just kind of going live and talking to people in my community. But I just started debating, which I've been doing on TikTok and other platforms for a few years. So if you go to the link tree in my bio, you'll see that. If you just type in Adam Cray on TikTok, you'll see my TikTok name. But take care, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming. Be well.